For decades, the United States didn't just lead aviation, it defined it. From Boeing to Delta, from New York to Los Angeles, America shaped the global air system. But today, something is shifting. Dubai is dominating international transit. Saudi Arabia is building a $100 billion aviation strategy. China is constructing some of the largest airports on Earth. And the question is no longer theoretical. Is America losing control of global air dominance? If you enjoy deep breakdowns of global power and infrastructure like this, consider subscribing to Titan Builds. We are building toward 1,000 subscribers, and your support helps this channel grow. Now let's look at what is really happening. Dubai didn't invent the idea of a global hub, but it perfected it. At the edge of the Arabian Desert, a single city now pulls in more international travelers than any other place on Earth. Dubai International, DXB, holds the crown as the world's busiest international airport, not domestic, international. This is no accident of history. It's geography, money, and ambition all working together. Dubai sits at the crossroads of Europe, Asia, and Africa. For millions flying between London and Mumbai, Paris and Bangkok, Nairobi and Beijing, routing through Dubai saves hours, sometimes thousands of kilometers. That's not just about convenience, it's about cost. Shorter flights mean less fuel, less time, and more profit. Emirates, Dubai's flagship airline, built its entire strategy on this. One mega hub, one carrier, seamless transfers. The result, over 88 million international passengers a year, almost all of them connecting between continents. No sprawling network of regional airports, no patchwork of alliances, just one city, one airport, and a model that changed the flow of global aviation. So what happens when another country tries to outscale Dubai at its own game? Because this story is far from over. Riyadh isn't just following Dubai's playbook, it is rewriting the script at scale. King Salman International Airport, set to rise on the edge of the Saudi capital, aims for an opening act of 120 million passengers a year. Not someday, by 2030. That is more than Heathrow and JFK combined before the first expansion phase is even finished. And if the plans hold, KSYA will eventually handle up to 185 million travelers annually, leapfrogging every airport on Earth. Where does the money come from? The Public Investment Fund, Saudi Arabia's $700 billion war chest. Vision 2030 is not just a slogan, it is a state-backed campaign to turn oil wealth into global influence. Aviation sits at the center. Riyadh Air, a brand new national carrier, is ordering jets by the hundred. Saudia, the legacy airline, is doubling its fleet. Together, they are targeting 330 million total passengers across the kingdom by the end of the decade. It is not just about size. Saudi's strategy fuses airport, airline, and logistics zones into a single, sovereign-controlled machine. The goal? Capture the flow of travelers and cargo moving between Asia, Africa, and Europe before they ever set foot in Dubai or Istanbul. Is this the new model for controlling the skies? Or just the world's biggest bet on a future that has not arrived yet? Because this story is far from over. Beijing doesn't chase headlines, it builds corridors. While Dubai and Riyadh bet on single mega-hubs, China's strategy is about scale, everywhere, all at once. Over the past decade, state-backed lenders have financed or built dozens of airports, not just at home, but across Africa, Central Asia, and Eastern Europe. Entebbe, Nairobi, Baku, each one a node in a growing web that links Chinese trade zones to new markets. The Belt and Road Initiative isn't just about ports and railways, it's about aviation, connecting cargo, people, and influence along the old Silk Road, now paved with runways. But the real power sits at home. Beijing Daxing, Guangzhou Baiyun, Shanghai Pudong. These airports handle more passengers each year than most countries. High-speed rail feeds the terminals. Domestic carriers, including Air China, China Southern, and Hainan, are quietly required to buy Chinese. About 30% of new jet orders go to Comac, the homegrown rival to Boeing and Airbus. No flashy mandates, just a slow, steady push for self-sufficiency, volume, and control over the flow of Asia's future. So where does that leave the United States? America's strengths in the skies run deeper than any single airport or flashy new hub. Start with the numbers. The United States moves more people by air than any other country, by far. More than 900 million domestic passengers a year, 10 times Dubai, 20 times Riyadh. This isn't just a statistic. It's a network so dense that you can fly from Anchorage to Miami, Seattle to Boston, dozens of times a day, every day. Delta, American, and United are legacy carriers that shaped the modern hub-and-spoke system. They connect over 400 airports with fleets that dwarf most national carriers. Then there is Boeing. For decades, Boeing has been the world's leading aircraft manufacturer. From the 747 to the 787 Dreamliner, Boeing jets form the backbone of commercial fleets everywhere. More than 10,000 deliveries since 2000. Even after setbacks, no rival matches the reach of Boeing's supply chain or its deep integration with American finance and defense. When it comes to military power, the United States stands alone. The Department of Defense operates the world's largest airlift fleet. It secures global airspace rights, forges open skies agreements, and sets safety standards that others follow. No other country wields this much leverage across commercial, cargo, and defense aviation. So, is America really falling behind? Or is the game just changing? Because this story is far from over. For more deep breakdowns of global power and infrastructure, subscribe to Titan Builds. We are building toward 1,000 subscribers. Join us. Geography does not care about ambition. For all of America's strength, airlines, airports, aircraft, there is one thing it cannot change, where it sits on the map. The United States is a powerhouse for domestic travel. But when it comes to connecting the world, the numbers tilt elsewhere. Take a flight from Frankfurt to Singapore. Routing through New York or Chicago adds over 2,000 kilometers compared to a stop in Dubai. London to Sydney? That is a 2,250-kilometer detour if you cross the Atlantic first. Paris to Tokyo, Johannesburg to Bangkok. On each of these high-traffic routes, the Middle East and Asia sit perfectly in between. The savings are not just a few minutes, they are 1,800 to 2,500 kilometers, enough to mean less fuel, lower costs, and faster trips for millions of passengers and tons of cargo. For airlines like Emirates or new rivals in Riyadh, that is a built-in advantage. For the United States, it is a structural friction. No amount of runway expansion or fleet renewal can erase the extra distance. So when the world's fastest-growing air corridors run through Eurasia and Africa, American hubs are forced to play catch-up from the wrong side of the map. Building airports in America is a marathon, not a sprint. Even with federal money and private partnerships, the path from blueprint to boarding gate is slow and crowded with roadblocks. Every major expansion at JFK, Atlanta, and Seattle faces years of environmental reviews, zoning battles, and local opposition. A new terminal at a U.S. hub can spend 24 to 48 months tangled in permits before a single shovel hits the ground. Compare that to Dubai or Beijing, where streamlined approvals mean construction begins in 6 to 12 months. The difference adds up fast. U.S. airports often take 4 to 7 years from plan to finish. In China or the Gulf, it is 2 to 4. And cost. American projects routinely run $50 to $100 million per new gate. Abroad, the same gate is built for 20 to 40% less. The Federal Aviation Administration must balance safety, community concerns, and federal law, every step open to challenge. Local politics can stall a runway for a decade. In a world where competitors scale up in half the time, this is more than an inconvenience. It is a bottleneck that America cannot afford. Because this story is far from over. Money moves people and power. Emirates is not just a well-run airline, it is a cash machine. In 2024, the group posted a record profit of $6.2 billion. That is not a rounding error. It is more than most U.S. carriers make in a good year, combined. Cash on hand over $14 billion. With numbers like that, Emirates can outbid rivals for new jets, launch routes where others hesitate, and weather shocks that ground competitors. When fuel prices spike or demand slumps, Emirates leans on its war chest, not on bailouts or bankruptcy courts. The result is flexibility, aggression, and a willingness to open new city pairs, subsidize connections, and keep planes full, even if margins thin. For passengers, this means more choices and lower fares on long-haul routes. For U.S. airlines, it is a different game, competing with a cash-fueled rival that is not constrained by quarterly profits or Wall Street nerves. The balance of power is not just in the skies, it is in the bank. 3 futures sit on the runway. The first option is to double down. America invests big. New runways, faster approvals, tax breaks for next-gen jets, a rebuilt air traffic system. The goal is to regain the edge and keep the world routing through U.S. skies. The second option is to share control. Forge deals with Gulf and Asian giants, co-develop hubs, modernize corridors together. The skies become a partnership, not a battleground. The third option is to step back. Let others handle the crossroads, while the U.S. focuses on its home market and military reach. Each path is a choice, not a fate. The outcome depends on what policymakers do next. Air dominance isn't just hardware, it is routes, hubs, and who shapes tomorrow's map. America still moves more passengers than anyone domestically, but international power is shifting. Infrastructure, not borders, is the new front line. So who draws the next line in the sky? Because this story is far from over. For more deep breakdowns of global power and infrastructure, subscribe to Titan Builds. We're building toward 1,000 subscribers.